Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of War Machine Season 3.1. Commentating with me here, we have Civilian Arc once again. How's it going today, Civilian?
I'm doing fine. I just finished my robotics competition, got third place, so that was fun.
Congrats on that anyway,
Er,
and yeah, saw you got to meet multiple Battlebots team captains today too, along with getting some
yep.
awesome loot during that event, along with getting a third place title at your competition. Definitely great stuff with that. So yeah, be sure to check out Civilian Arc's channel as he posts some great content, including if he hadn't already done that by the time I post this video and stuff. Be sure to check out those fights because he already showed off one of them to the group chat earlier, and it was a pretty good fight, and I imagine the other two were pretty good fights too, so I would highly recommend checking those out and stuff. But yeah, so I was recording the heats, and I noticed there were a few robots that were accidentally left out from the heats, and so I thought, what better way to fix that than throw in a separate 8-robot bracket that'll determine one spot in the top 16 for this competition, similar to the Desperado tournament in Battlebots, but I thought I'd term it the Lost Bracket. So this bracket features 8 robots that were not included in any of the 10 heats so far, and with one of those featuring a major seed from the last season of War Machines in the Robot Wars mod, along with 7 others that are looking to compete here. So yeah, this episode will just feature those 8 bots, and basically the idea is that the winner of that bracket will automatically get a spot in the top 16 here. The other 7 bots will either be out of the competition and will be out of the competition, but could be included in a bonus fight later. So yeah, let's go ahead and check out the brackets here. So we got at the top, we got the number 1 seed, who was the number 3 seed in War Machine Season 2 for the Robot Wars mod last season, Infection, and their massive vertical spinner. And then on the other side, with the number 2 seed, I thought it'd be fun to bring in another Iron Ave robot, because there's like 5, 6, or 7 of them in that mod. So I thought I'd bring in Iron Ave 2.1, another really cool one, including it has multiple weapons with a flipper and a hammer. Then at the 3 seed we got Ceros, a returner from last season with a pretty effective flipper. Then number 4 we get a Speedster with 2 pretty low to the ground wedgelets with Tanto. Then at the 5 seed we got Corkscrew and their pretty low to the ground wedge and their amazing circular design. Then number 6 we got Raging Morg, another vicious flipper. The 7 seed, returning from last season, we have Great Pumpkin with their fire-breathing pumpkin and low-to-the-ground wedge. And then last but not least, we have the smaller version of Gabriel, Saint, and their thwacker. So yeah, any input on these 8, Civilian?
No, I haven't used most of these. I know I've used Infection and Iron Ave 2.1 and Ceros a few times.
Great Pumpkin as well.
Yeah, Great Pumpkin's a vibe to use. Raging Morg has been an annihilation, and most of its fights are bangers, so that's fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Corkscrew. If any of you guys are huge Robot Wars fans and you're watching this, this is not the Corkscrew you think it is. I'm just gonna say it right now.
Yeah, but Corkscrew will still hopefully put in some pretty entertaining bouts here, and we maybe could even see it at the top 16, but we'll never know. Anything else, Civilian?
No.
Alright, so now we're going to get to the first fight of the episode, which will feature the return of Infection, the 3 seed from last season's Robot Wars mod, who will be taking on Saint, a 2-wheel thwacker design here. So yeah, what do you got on this battle, Civilian?
So this will be definitely Saint trying to break Infection's weapon to see it, and because that Infection's weapon is extremely deadly, so that'll definitely be Saint's probably main go-to, try and break that weapon. Saint probably should just be very aggressive in this fight, and I mean, no, Infection should just be very aggressive in this fight and try and get a knockout.
Yeah, definitely. Infection's probably going to be trying to go for those exposed wheels on Saint, try to pluck those off as quickly as possible, and hope to win this battle by knockout. While Saint's probably going to be trying to avoid that vertical spinner and trying to land as many shots as possible on the top of Infection, as Infection may not be very well armored up there compared to the front. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get to the first fight of the Lost Bracket. Time for the first battle to begin, and we got a big hit from Infection to start this one off here, knocking Saint off balance and already wheels off.
There goes.
Man, Infection striking back hard, calling out the community who put the War Machine season together that they should not have left Infection out of this competition.
Yeah, Green, you forgot the fucking 3 seed. What the hell, man?
Yeah, I know, right? Why did they forget the 3 seed? But holy crap, they are hammering. Say, they already knocked off both wheels and stuff and going in for more.
Infection wants more smoke.
But oh no! The vertical spinner just came off! What the heck is happening here?
Well, I mean, Saint can't move, so all Infection needs to do is just leave it alone.
Literally. But man, even though Infection just lost their vertical spinner like that, they just made a statement for themselves towards myself on this one. And yeah, the countdown going, and Infection has officially won this one by a knockout. And yeah. Oh, any words on that fight?
That was, Green, I don't know how the hell you forgot Infection, man. That's all I gotta say to that.
Yeah, I wonder if the team who created Saint is gonna have a funeral for that robot after how beat up it got from there. Oh man. Man, I'm not having forgotten Infection after that, and yeah, Infection proving that they should have been forgotten about here. But yeah, that's the whole reason why we're doing the Lost Bracket, for any robots that were forgotten about too, and other robots that may potentially have potential that didn't make the main cut. So yeah, that was fun. Let's go ahead and get to our next battle, which will feature Tanto and Corkscrew here. And so we got Tanto on one side with the low-to-the-ground wedgelets, up against Corkscrew with a low-to-the-ground wedge here. How do you think this fight might go, Civilian?
It's gonna be a boring ass push fight, so I'm gonna hate it.
Yeah, this fight's probably going to result in a push battle here. I could see Tanto getting the advantage early in this one, because Tanto is really fast in this version too, which could potentially give it the edge, but never count out Corkscrew. I think Corkscrew has the bigger wedge and potentially the more effective one, but we will find out in this one. This one should be hopefully a good battle for a push fight, so let's go ahead and get right to it then. Yeah, and the winner will take on Infection in the next round. Alright, and now, Tanto getting flipped a few times, but now Tanto's getting underneath Corkscrew here and pushing them around. And yeah, we got another push off here. Tanto, despite losing the ground game, seems to be out pushing Corkscrew in this one, taking them into the rails here.
Tanto is just such a fast maneuverable bot that Corkscrew just can't get the push in.
Yeah, why didn't I include Tanto in the main competition either? Because this is fantastic stuff from them. It's a tiny package of pure pain is what I'm seeing right now.
Yeah.
But man, Tanto seems to be winning the ground game so far, pushing Corkscrew around, just not giving Corkscrew an inch in this one here. Definitely, he definitely is winning this one. We're 1 minute in, almost getting a flip on Corkscrew here. 1 minute through, and it's just been almost all Tanto in this fight.
Some big lifts by, some big pushes by Tanto. Tanto's doing a really great job right now.
Yeah, definitely. And taking into the rails again is Tanto here. And another push, just continuing to put on pressure on Corkscrew here, stacking up the control points and stuff. They're near the pit button. We're now at the floor flipper here, but they both evade it and stuff. And now Tanto's just back under the attack. The pit is open, however. Could we see a bot getting pushed down it? Tanto almost got themselves down it, but now down the pit! Oh, man. Oh. Repeated mutant Panzer here, because we had Tanto dominating the fight with its pushes, but then one driving error involved it getting put down the pit of oblivion, and Corkscrew will be the one moving on, who will be taking on Infection in the next round. Yeah, any words on that one, Civilian?
Yeah, that was a very, 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 just, I feel bad. I have no other way to say it. I feel so bad for Tanto.
Yeah, Civilian, I better hand over the rights of War Machines to you if Tanto doesn't get a bonus fight at least, because that was kind of fun to watch. It was fun to watch Tanto do stuff like that. And yeah, Tanto was a pretty impressive push bot. It was too bad we saw it go out, because I feel like a Tanto and Infection fight would have been awesome. But yeah. So we'll see Corkscrew in the next round. And now up next, we will see the return of Great Pumpkin, who will be taking on the 2-seed Iron Ave 2.1. So yeah, Civilian, knowing both of these robots were on your fantasy roster, if I remember right. What do you got on these two robots?
Okay, so this all depends on if Great Pumpkin can get its pumpkin taken off before it gets flipped over, because it'll get flipped over at some point, and it all depends on if the pumpkin is still there or not, because if the pumpkin isn't there, then it can't drive inverted, but if it isn't there, it can drive inverted.
Yeah, definitely. That could potentially be a strategy from Great Pumpkin. See if the hammer of Iron Ave 2.1 will take off the pumpkin. That way it can drive inverted here. But this one will definitely come down to who has the lower ground between these two robots here, as that could be the deciding factor in this fight. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get right to it. Alright, here we go. And now we have Clash, but Iron Ave seems to be winning the ground game so far, and they already have Great Pumpkin flipped over and tossing them around. And already flinging them out. 13 seconds, and the 2-seed is already moved on. So yeah, I'm speechless. What do you got, Civilian, on that?
That's what you call a speed run, baby. If you ever want to speed run a Robot Wars fight, just have Iron Ave 2.1 fight a pumpkin.
Yeah, that was Iron Ave 2.1's debut in War Machines, and how about that for a first fight in War Machines? So, great stuff from Iron Ave 2.1. The 2-seed advances, where it will take on the winner of our next battle, which is the final battle of the last round, featuring Ceros and Raging Morg. A flipper battle here, so this one's another one where it might come down to low ground between these two. And what do you got on this fight, Civilian?
Okay, so here's the problem with Raging Morg. It has a decent flipper, but its control board is pretty vulnerable. So it needs to get out there and be aggressive, or Ceros will kill it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like what you said, this will definitely come down to durability as well as low ground that I talked about. Those will both be deciding factors in this one and could determine the winner. But now let's go ahead and get to this battle here. Get to the last fight of the first round. Here we go. And now both bots. Raging Morg appears to be the lower to the ground bot as they get an early flip here on Ceros. And another flip by Raging Morg. Dang, and now Ceros getting underneath and getting some flips in. Some pretty good stuff to start this one.
Ceros has to be careful though. It's on the flame pit. Want to get out of there.
And as well, look at that control board area too. Ceros is a bit close to that. Continuing to get tossed around.
Raging Morg is flipping Ceros all over the place, but Ceros is fighting back.
Yeah, Ceros has gotten a few flips in themselves, like that right there, knocking them into the pit buttons. Now the Pit of Oblivion's open, and almost flinging Raging Morg out of the arena here. 1 minute through, I think Raging Morg has the lead so far, but probably not by much. So, we got 2 minutes left to go in this fight. We could easily see something turn around, but right now Raging Morg has Ceros in the corner, and no, this fight's not lasting 2 minutes, and Ceros has just tossed Ceros has just been tossed all the way over the fence of the arena and out. Yeah, what was on your mind for that fight?
Raging Morg was definitely very enraged in that fight, so that was good driving by Raging Morg. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I call reaction to being flipped a few times like that. We will see Raging Morg, who just took out the 3 seed, advance to the next round, where they will take on the 2 seed Iron Ave 2.1, which should be a fun matchup here. So now we have the first round settled, where we will see the 1 seed Infection take on the 5 seed Corkscrew, as well as the 2 seed Iron Ave 2.1 take on the 6 seed Raging Morg. Any potential upsets you could see in that bunch, Civilian?
Okay, so let's see. Infection's fighting Corkscrew.
Yep, and Iron Ave's fighting Raging Morg.
I don't really see any of them being an upset, really. Maybe if Corkscrew beats Infection, that'd be an upset, but other than that, I don't realistically say that if, like, say, Raging Morg beat Iron Ave, that'd be an upset, but yeah.
Definitely. Alright, let's now get to the first fight of the second round, where we will see the top seed Infection look to make another statement for themselves as they take on Corkscrew, the 5 seed. So yeah, I already asked about potential upset inputs, but let's go a little more in depth with that. So what do you think about this fight, Civilian? What do you got on it?
Okay. So, Corkscrew's drive seems to be fairly weak. Either that or Tanto has an insanely strong drive. So, if Corkscrew might be able to get under, but the question is he able to push around? And if not, then Infection's gonna do a lot of heavy damage to Corkscrew and push it around a bunch.
Yeah, definitely. This one could also come down to, can Corkscrew avoid that deadly vertical spinner? Infection definitely had some repairs after losing that entire vertical spinner coming into this, but I bet the team fixed it for this fight, and Corkscrew will probably still want to avoid it, or maybe even break it somehow, whether that's through the use of the hazards or something like that. But this one will come down to driving between the 2 robots, and I think it's now time to get to the first fight of the second round. Here we go, time to start the second round here, and already Infection landing a hit with that vertical spinner and pushing Corkscrew right into the edge of the arena.
this seems to be a pretty even ground game, but Infection has the powerful drive, it seems.
Yeah. So countdown caused both of them back off, and now Corkscrew temporarily underneath, but now taking a hit and another hit from that vertical spinner.
Big shots by Infection right now.
Yeah, not giving Corkscrew much of an
pissed.
inch, similar to how Tanto wasn't really giving Corkscrew an inch before Corkscrew luckily got Tanto down the pit of Oblivion. And
Infection's still pissed that Green forgot about him.
Yeah, definitely. And holy crap, some big hits being landed by Infection here. Continuing to make a statement for itself. It's possible Corkscrew might need a knockout similar to in the last fight if it wants to take this thing. As right now, Infection is just stacking up on points.
Can we just point out how impressive it is that Corkscrew hasn't lost a single piece but has taken this much damage?
Yeah, definitely. This says a lot about the armor and the defense of Corkscrew here. Almost at the pit there. But yeah, we gotta say a lot about the defense here. Corkscrew might not be that fast or have a lot of push power in it, but it sure is a tank when it comes to defense. But yeah, now we got to push off between these two robots here. Both of them not backing off an inch on each other. And underneath is Corkscrew. But now Corkscrew's taking shots on the spikes and now some hits. And now Infection's been flipped thanks to the spikes. Corkscrew looking to use that to their advantage. Can they maybe get Infection down the pit of Oblivion and knock off the 1 seed here? Infection can try to use the vertical spinner to self-right here by charging right into Corkscrew. But so far, it's not exactly working in their favor when it comes to flipping them back over.
Now, if Corkscrew can take advantage of Infection trying to self-right itself, then it could get Infection in the pit, so he's got to be careful, but there it's self-right.
Yup. And now Infection back up and ready to strike again with that vertical spinner here. Look at Corkscrew though. They're almost on control board. Not sure if the spikes or if that was the vertical spinner that did that kind of damage to it. But Corkscrew might be on the ropes here. However, they only need to survive for another 15 seconds. Or get Infection down the pit, which I think they might need. Because right now they are way behind on points in my books here.
Big shots by Infection to end it off, and Corkscrew riding the roll.
And now we have our first judge's decision of the episode, where these fights are scored off of damage, aggression, control, and weapon usage here. And scored by 3 different judges out of the 5 I've got. And yeah, let's hear what you got on this fight, Civilian. Who do you think won it and stuff?
Oh, Infection definitely won it. Maybe I'd give Corkscrew a control point, maybe, but the Infection just dominated that entire fight.
Yeah.
I have to say Infection.
I think this one is probably going to be one of the more easier judges' decisions out of the many we've had so far this season. Is I think Infection is almost certainly going to take this one based off of the numerous number of shots they landed on Corkscrew. But but one thing we got to factor in here is how, other than really there wasn't really much visible damage here in this one. Now, as we saw that Corkscrew was very close to getting control boarded, and also you just never want a fight to go the full 3 minutes because you never know what could happen when a fight goes to the judges. Alright, so now let's go ahead and announce who won this fight and who will be the first one moving to the Lost Bracket Final. Alright. So now the judges' votes are in, and we have a unanimous decision. The winner is Infection. Yeah, I think this is kind of like what we were both expecting here, because that was a dominant performance from Infection, another statement victory. I'm assuming you agreed with the decision, Civilian.
Yeah, definitely. That was the right call.
Yeah. Corkscrew needed the knockout, however, I think while Infection was flipped over, they should have tried to push Infection down the pit, similar to the opportunity they got against Tanto. It's too bad we'll have to see Corkscrew go, but Well, yeah, we'll see Infection in the final, and we're going to find out their opponent in the next battle, where we have Iron Ave 2.1 and Raging Morg. So, yeah, what do you got in this fight, Civilian? Just knowing both of these robots had some pretty dominant flipping performances in their first round battle.
It'll be fairly good to see. One of the things that could edge it out is Iron Ave 2.1's hammer. That could give them some good hits and possibly give them the win here.
Yeah, definitely. Iron Ave could have the edge in damage with that hammer and be able to use that to get more control in the battle. And we know that, and I know from using this mod that Raging Morg isn't exactly fond of like spinners and hammers, which that could come into effect here since Iron Ave 2.1 has a hammer at its arsenal. So things could come into play, but Raging Morg, I feel like, has the more powerful flipper between the two of them. And so, either way, though, I'm predicting one robot ends up out of the arena here, as I suspect that'll be both robots' goals in this one. Go for the out of the arena as quickly as possible, reduce the amount of damage they could potentially take, and go into the fight with Infection with the least amount of damage possible. Alright, so unless the Civilian Arc's got anything else, let's go ahead and begin this battle and determine who will have the last spot in the Lost Bracket final.
Let's do it.
Alright, here we go. Now both bots eyeing each other out, and Raging Morg starting off with a few flips on Iron Ave. Iron Ave being forced to self-right here, while Raging Morg is continuing to come after them.
Big flips by Raging Morg so far.
Yeah, nice start from the 6th seed here. It is possible that I underseeded them in this bracket, because, man, Raging Morg, for how less armored they are, they've been doing very well. But now they're stuck in the corner here and taking some flips and hammer shots from Iron Ave. Another flip by Iron Ave.
Yeah, Iron Ave getting some good hits here.
And another shot from Iron Ave. Iron Ave starting to come back on points here after getting flipped several times by Raging Morg. But now Raging Morg back on the attack, flipping Iron Ave over once more.
Yeah, this is some good driving by both bots so far.
Yeah, been a back and forth fight for the first minute so far. I'd say Raging Morg has the lead on points right now, but not by much. Gotta eye the control boards of both robots. Raging Morg looks to be the closest, but Iron Ave is not too far behind in this.
Yep.
But now we got some more flipping being done here by Iron Ave. A few more hammer shots too. Now, how about Raging Morg clinging to the rails like that and using them to drive off and get away from that flipper? But now they're taking... Yeah, this has been a pretty entertaining fight so far. Halfway through it, and it's been close. So we saw a miss flip, and now Iron Ave makes Raging Morg pay for that, and landing some more shots on them.
Yeah, good hits by both bots so far. This has been a great fight.
Yeah, been a back and forth battle here. Action from both bots' weaponry. We like seeing lots of stuff like that in War Machines. We got both bots wanting that top 16 spot in the postseason in the grand final episode here. And another flip by a Raging Morg. 30 seconds to go. It's been too close to call so far. I'm hoping somebody's probably going to make a statement here. But right now it's looking like it's going to be Raging Morg here is flipping Iron Ave around. But yeah, 15 seconds to go.
Be careful, if it gets flipped, it's going to lose its control board.
Yeah, gotta be careful about that. 10 seconds to go. Who's going to make that last impression on the judges? A flip by Iron Ave and a few last second hammer shots, and they got Raging Morg in the corner right as the clock hits 0. And this fight is also going to the judges, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be at least a little bit closer than the last judge's decision. So, oh, what do you got in this fight, Civilian?
That was really close. I honestly don't know. It could go to anyone. I'd say maybe Iron Ave won because it just did more controller damage. I don't know. It's a close one.
Yeah, definitely. Like, this was a back and forth fight for the entire 3 minutes. And yeah, I don't know which direction this one is going to go, so... Oh, want to hear the judge's decision? Because only one bot can advance.
Yep, we gotta do it.
Alright, so now the judge's decision is in. And we have a split decision. The winner is... Iron Ave 2.1. So yeah, what do you think about the judge's decision? Did you agree with it?
I'd say that was the right call, probably. It would have been tough to say, but I think Iron Ave did enough.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like the judges edged it out towards Iron Ave with that hammer or damage that they potentially did, and gave them extra damage points for that, and that might have been key in what influenced the fight towards Iron Ave 2.1. But clearly, Raging Morg did get a bunch of credit for all their flipping and stuff. So, as one of the judges did score that fight for them. So, but yeah, great fight from these two. Ooh, great way to end the second round here. And now, we got a little treat coming, because even though this is completely unnecessary, we're going to let Iron Ave 2.1 and Infection get ready for the next battle. And we're going to see a third place battle between Raging Morg and Corkscrew before we get to the fight determining who will get the top 16 spot. So now up next, we will see Corkscrew take on Raging Morg. So, yeah, what do you got in this fight, Civilian?
This will be fun. We didn't see Corkscrew fight a Flipper yet, so that'll be fun. I think Corkscrew will get some airtime, and yeah, I think Raging Morg is gonna win this one.
Yeah, definitely. Is this one? But never want to count out Corkscrew though, because if they appear to have the lower ground, they could use that to their advantage and end up pushing Raging Morg around and potentially win this fight on control and stuff. So yeah, I think it's time to get to this third place battle here. This one should be an exciting one. Alright, time for the third place battle to begin. Nearly flipped by Raging Morg and stuff. And another flip, and getting Raging Morg towards the arena rails and stuff. Could they potentially be going for the Uda? And that ended quickly. Wow.
So much for wanting to do a third place fight and wait and let the two bots take time to get ready.
Yeah, because... Jeez, how much time was that anyway? 15 seconds! And that was all it took for Raging Morg to get Corkscrew out of the arena in that one. Oh my gosh, that's a second quick KO.
That's crazy.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Alright, it's time to get the other two robots ready and bring them out to the arena, because we got a top 16 spot for the grand final to determine. Infection, Iron Ave 2.1. What do you think this fight will come down to?
It'll definitely come down to which bot is more able to take hits. Both bots are very good with their weaponry, but if neither of them can take the hits, then they're not going to win this fight. So it'll be down to who's the more durable opponent.
Definitely. This will definitely be another close battle here. I think the advantage probably could go to the Infection, because I feel like Infection has the more damage-worthy weapon but Iron Ave definitely has the more effective front and could potentially get some control points out of that. But either way, this should be a pretty interesting fight. Let's go ahead and begin it and determine who will be the first robot to get to the top 16 of the grand final episode. Time to get this underway. Alright, and let the final match begin. And already, Iron Ave! Beautiful shot right there. Flipping Infection over and landing a nice hammer shot. But now, here comes the Iron Ave right back on the attack as Iron Ave just taking it to the 3 seed. Yeah, Infection's got to be careful because they are very close to the arena rails, and you never want to be there when going up against a flipper bot, especially one that got a 13-second KO earlier in this video. We see some weapon-on-weapon action between the hammer and flipper and the vertical spinner of Infection, and there's the first hit by Infection's Vert. And now looking to push Iron Ave around here. And now we got a push off right in the middle of the arena. It's pretty much a stalemate right now.
Yeah, this is very good by Iron Ave, but now Infection is getting some good hits in.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, here we go, another stalemate, but now Iron Ave's hanging out over the flame pits and stuff. And now big hits by Infection here. Halfway through this battle, it's been pretty close so far. Not sure who I would give the edge to right now.
Yeah, I have no idea who would win this right now.
But yeah, Infection now has Iron Ave in the corner and stuff, landing some more big, devastating vertical spinner shots and stuff. Just not giving Iron Ave an inch, not giving them a chance to use that flipper. No, stuck on the arena rails, but Infection helped them get free from there. But now just taking them right back into the corner, telling them the corner is your spot here. Get back in there. Less than a minute to go here, and we got smoke coming out of Iron Ave. Could this potentially be a game changer in this one? Iron Ave showing signs of damage in this one. Could that potentially be a big factor in this fight?
Looks like that's part of the drive, because you can see Iron Ave is definitely having some trouble driving. This could be a big break for Infection, but now Iron Ave getting a lucky flip on there.
Yeah, could this be the break that Iron Ave needed here after all the shots that Infection has landed? Because we saw almost nothing out of Iron Ave since about 30 to 40 seconds into the fight, but now we got 10 seconds left to go. Close bout this has been between these two, but it's looking like this fight is going to go to the judges, and it is. So now it's up to the judges to decide who will be the robot getting to the top 16 here. Okay, this is going to be another one where it's very close to call here. Who do you think won that fight, Civilian?
I think because of the smoke, I have to say that Infection won that. I just have to.
Yeah, this one's definitely going to be a back and forth battle. I think it's either going to come down to the damage that Infection did that caused that smoke and stuff, and all the hits they landed with that vertical spinner. But then don't forget how Iron Ave got some pretty effective shots in of their own right at the beginning of the fight, and even a few at the very end. So this one could be a tight one to call. I personally don't think it was as close as the last judge's decision, but either way, this one should be an interesting one to call. Let's go ahead and find out who will be the first spot with a confirmed spot in the grand final. Alright, so the judges' votes are in, and we have a unanimous decision. The winner, advancing to the top 16, is Iron Ave 2.1. Alright, so yeah, looks like the judges favored the control that Iron Ave 2.1 got over Infection, but I gotta admit, I actually kind of disagree with that call personally.
Yeah.
But I meant the judges potentially potentially saw a different fight compared to what I saw, but yeah, what do you think about that, Civilian?
Yeah, I definitely think that Infection might have won that fight. If I think I can see that they Iron Ave definitely won on control, but it's definitely obvious Infection won on damage, and aggression could go either way, so I have no clue. I'd say Infection, but I guess I can see an argument for why one would say Iron Ave.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely thought Infection won it too because of the damage they did and even some of the shots they got in the middle of the fight too, where they gained some control and aggression out of that. But yeah, like we always say, you never want in a fight to go the full 3 minutes because you never know what could happen when a battle goes to the judges. So, yeah, it's definitely possible the judges saw a different fight out of that, and that is why they leaned towards Iron Ave 2.1 in this. But either way, it was a great fight. We will see Iron Ave 2.1 in the grand final episode, and we'll maybe see Infection again later in the season in a bonus fight or something like that, because it was definitely great getting to see Infection back once again, and yeah, I hope we'll get to see them again, and maybe even for a future season of War Machines too. So, alright, anything else on this, Civilian, before we close out the episode?
No, I ain't got much. This was a good set of fights. I do think that Infection should have won, but you can't have everything.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I'll thank you for watching this episode anyway. So if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe. We will be getting to the semifinals episodes starting next time, so be sure to hang around for that, as there are lots more exciting battles upcoming. We have hit about the halfway point in this season through this episode, and I will hopefully see you for the next episode.